So just to find out now that it's going to be Senior Max Heats 3, Groups A and C. It's the final Senior Max qualification heats of the weekend and also the season. Your grid is as follows. On the front row, it's Philip Vava from Spain. Alongside him will be Andre Walter in the 2.99. Leroy Jägersar in the 2.98 will be alongside countryman Mick Knowlton in the 2.94, who won his first heat a little bit earlier on this afternoon. And that's Fabian Bock in the 2.77 alongside Rick Boothorn in the 2.93. Hannes Morin in the 2.19 and Patrick Rundqvist make it a Swedish row 4 with Rundqvist in the 2.58. David Remy in the 2.55 will be alongside Mario Novak in the 2.64 on row 5 with Nick Cuppens in the 2.74 and Piotr Świeżaczynski in the 2.76 on row 6. Luna Blum in the 2.53 and Emily de Hoys in the 2.72 on row 7 with Fazio Franson and Stefan Fordbauer in 2.68 and 2.62 on row 8. Peter Bezel 2.37 and Henri Young in the 2.33 on row 9 with Milishindik and Julian Vertela on row 10 with Jusso Pantala and Laura Kristova rounding out the 22 strong. It's the final time that we see the seniors have qualification heats here in 2018 here amidst the fantastic summer sunshine here in southern Germany, as we are waiting for the action in Senior Max to get underway for the final time today before we go into finals day tomorrow. So it's going to be Vava and Walter controlling the pace. 10 minutes plus 1 additional lap here at Wackersdorf remain for the Senior Max contingent for 2018, as some of them are vying for Rotax Max Challenge Grand Final golden tickets by the end of this weekend. So on your screens on the live stream, it is Vava to the left, Walter to the right. They head into the tram lines. The anticipation grows. The Rotax revs rise, lights go out, and we go through under the gantry into turn 1, into turn 2. And it's 2, maybe nearly even 3 abreast going into turns 3 and 4. But at the moment, Philip Vava has got the whole shot and is starting to lead, starting to pull away slightly, in fact, from the likes of Walter Jägersar and also Knowlton, who's now in 4th position. Fabian Bock of the 2.77, I think, is still in 5th place at the minute as they come through into the halfway point of the circuit here at Wackersdorf. So Vava leads by a good 3-4 kart lengths from Walter, as the hairpins, the latter part of the circuit seem to be a good place to overtake here, as long as you carry the momentum through correctly. They now come around the final couple of corners here at Wackersdorf, and Philip Vava from Spain continues to lead from Andre Walter from Germany, with Leroy Jägersar from the Netherlands in 3rd, Mick Knowlton in 4th, as Knowlton was trying to go up the inside of Jägersar going into turn 3, but could not get the move done and completed in time to get up into 3rd position. But now just look at the amount of carts. Look how close. There's a bit of nice overtaking there a little bit further down the field. I think it might have been Nick Cuppens or Emily de Hoys that might have made a move up the order as they go through to the latter part of the track here at Wackersdorf. A fantastic facility, but look how close Andre Walter has got Leroy Jägersar and also now Mick Knowlton, as someone's hung a bit out to dry there. Looks to be the 2.77 of Fabian Bock coming out of the final hairpin, leading on to the final couple of corners. And in some places it's going to be too wide going through the straights, and 2.64 of Novak is probably right on the back bumper of David Remy, as one driver goes a bit too, tries to sweep in front. That looks to be Rundqvist, as there's more bumping and barging, a bit of side pod contact, and Fabian Bock again involved in the wars through turns 5, 6, 7 and now 8. And Bock finished the first heat in 5th position, as the 2.53 of Luna Blum is also making moves up the order as well. So 7.5 minutes to go in this Senior Max final qualification heat of the 2018 season, and Philip Vava has extended his lead, and look where Jägersar's coming from. Oh, he's tangled. Vanago spinning and hits the tyre barriers on the outside of turn number 3. So yellow flags waved. There was contact just waiting to happen at some point during this race, and it was through the efforts of Leroy Jägersar that just caught Andre Walter and put the German into a tailspin. So now the tyre barriers will need to be rearranged pretty quickly. Green flag racing resumes around the rest of the circuit. But drama for Andre Walter from Germany, as Philipp Waver now has a clear run of air between himself and Jägersar, who might be investigated as a result of that collision. It might have been a racing incident, if I'm completely honest. He tried to go for a gap, but this has allowed Mick Knowlton to have a bit more opportunity of staying up in the top 5. He's in 3rd, and behind him, well, watch out, Mick Knowlton, because right behind you, you're going to have the blue, green, and fluorescent yellow of Dan Holland Racing if you look behind to your left or your right, because Hannes Morin is right behind in the 219. The Swede is absolutely flying at the moment. So Morin is charging. He's moving up the field very, very nicely. Morin started in 7th. He's now in 4th, and he's got the 2nd and 3rd place drivers up ahead. And it sounds like Andre Walter has just pitted right now. So it's a real shame for the German. That was a great... Hannes Morin's gone right up the inside. Great clean move from the Swede on Mick Knowlton. Up into turn 3, round into turn 4 they come. That was a great job by the youngster from Dan Holland Racing. Absolute textbook opportunistic overtake. And when you see a gap, normally a driver's instinct is pretty much... well, I've got a chance, I'm going to go for it, and Hannes Morin had more than enough room. I tell you what, Mick Knowlton is racing really, really cleanly. He's making sure that, okay, well, if I've made a mistake, I can't cover off the gap, I'm going to have to let him through. He's got so much momentum. And now Hannes Morin could hit the front of the field. We have around 5 minutes plus an additional lap to go in this Senior Max qualifying heat number 3. So Waver leads by nearly half a second from Jägersar. Hannes Morin is a further nearly 4/10 of a second adrift. Well, not quite now, because look where Jägersar is in proximity to Hannes Morin. Hannes Morin seems to catch him a bit more in the braking zone. And then you've also got the likes of Rick Boothorn as well. Also, and David Remy. So David Remy makes it 2 Dan Holland Racing drivers in the top 6 currently. And both of them are quite literally flying. Morin and Remy. Well, Remy is actually going slightly quicker than Dan Holland Racing stablemate Hannes Morin, and also fellow countryman. But the driver that is currently quickest, the fastest lap of the race goes to, so far, Patrick Rundqvist in the 2:58. Has just posted a 50.233. But now it looks like the gap is closing substantially. Well, Morin has just gone purple and is right on the back bumper of Jägersar coming through turn 4 into turn 5. Now it's into 6. Now it's the right-hander at 7, 8, 9. Now they go into the left-hander at turn 10. And I can just anticipate that Hannes Morin is not that far away from throwing one past Leroy Jägersar very shortly. But he still has plenty of time to actually make that move stick. In the meantime, the top 4 separated by just over a second on the last lap. But it looks like the gap between Hannes Morin and Mick Knowlton has extended to 0.7 of a second. But look how close Hannes Morin is in. Hannes Morin is in on as Jägersar goes for the lead on Waver. Morin is trying to go through, bumps Jägersar from behind. Philipp Waver's run a little bit wide coming out of turn 4. And Morin takes second going into turn number 5. Mick Knowlton, in the meantime, is absolutely loving the front row seat he has got right now with the top 3 battling away. This is just only going to help his chances of making sure that his championship is secure by hopefully final number 1 tomorrow. He's doing quite a lot. And as you can now see that Mick Knowlton is also right behind Philipp Waver. So Waver has dropped in the last half a lap, down from 1st into 3rd place, as your new leader now is now Leroy Jägersar, and he's actually coming under increased pressure. Morin has definitely got the bit between his teeth. The red mist has definitely come down behind the Swede's visor, and he's right up close and personal going through turn 5, and he's gone and thrown it up the inside into turn number 6. What a clean move from Hannes Morin. It was only a matter of time. He took about 2 to 3 minutes to set Jägersar up for that opportunity, and he absolutely nailed it clinically without like a surgeon's scalpel. Absolutely great job from the Swede as he now takes the lead. 1 minute 51 plus 1 additional lap to go here in the final Senior Max qualification heat of the 2018 season here in the Rotax Max Euro Trophy. Morin leads from Jägersar. Vava is still in third, but Knowlton is closing, and I don't think he's going to be alone not alone very shortly, because right with them is the charging Swede of David Remy in the 2:55. The Dan Holland boys are absolutely throwing a curveball to the rest of the opposition right now. Absolutely sterling performance for the drivers that are currently first. That is Hannes Morin down to 5th place, which is David Remy. And Hannes Morin has set the fastest lap of the race. David Remy set his best effort of 50.220. Absolutely great job. Rundqvist also, his best time is a 50.130. Emily de Hoys looks to be nearly a lap down off of the leaders as they now come around the final couple of corners here at Wackersdorf, and we have 45 on the clock to go. Hannes Morin leads from Jägersar. Vava is trying to close up. Mick Knowlton is there. David Remy is there. Watch out for both Novak and Rundqvist, not that far behind the quintet battling at the front of the field. But Morin has got this pretty much under control. He was 0.4 of a second clear of Jägersar across the start-finish line on the last lap. But I think probably with the pace that they're showing at the moment, there will be probably this and one more lap to go, as it's 10 seconds coming through the penultimate hairpin. They would have needed 20 probably to get around across the start-finish line. So now it is going to be, I think, so time has expired in Senior Max qualification heat 3. It's going to be this lap, 1 lap remaining. Hannes Morin starts his final lap here at Wackersdorf in the 3rd qualification heat. Ahead of Jägersar, Vava, Knowlton, Remy, Novak, Rundqvist, Buthon, Kuppens, Schwizazinski, Voigtbauer now up into 11th past Bezel, Fransen, Pantila, Bock, Bijendik, Wertele, Jung, Histova, Blum and de Hoys, I don't think have taken any further part in this race, but we now go into the second half of the circuit here at Wackersdorf, and Hannes Morin has got a clear lead between himself and Leroy Jägersar from the Netherlands, Philip Vava from Spain in 3rd, Mick Knowlton from the Netherlands in 4th, David Remy in 5th position. So, just 2 corners away, and it's going to be a win for the number 219 of Hannes Morin in absolutely fine style. Leroy Jägersar takes 2nd ahead of Philip Vava from Spain, with Mick Knowlton, the series leader, taking a very comfortable 4th position. David Remy rounds out the top 5 ahead of Rundqvist, Novak, Buthon, Kuppens and Svijazinski. So let's run through the finishing order for the final Senior Max qualification heat of the 2018 Rotax Max Euro Trophy season. What a great display from Hannes Morin, starting 7th and taking the win here in Senior Max heat number 3. Then it was Leroy Jägersar in the 298 that finished in 2nd ahead of Philip Vava, who started on pole but lost out to the pair for 3rd position at the end of it all. Mick Knowlton, the series leader in the 294, finishes 4th ahead of David Remy. So 2 Dan Holland racing karts in the top 5, and both of them representing Sweden. Patrick Rundqvist from KR Sport in the 258 finished in 6th ahead of Mario Novak, Rick Buthorn, Nick Kuppens, Piotr Schwizazinski, Stefan Voigtbauer, Peter Bezel, Fazio Fransen, Fabian Bock, Jusso Pantela, Jan Wertele, Ruud Bijendik, Henri Jung. You also had Laura Histrova and also Luna Blum, Emily de Hoys, and the unfortunate accident that involved both Andre Walter and Jägersar meant that the 299 from Germany would round out the finishing order 9 laps down off the rest of the field.